AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. We are live today at the Spine Center of Louisiana and thrilled to be here. Put back pain behind you. Spine Center can make it happen. Supposed to be joined right now by LSU running back commit Trey Martin. Having trouble connecting. If we can get him on board, we'll do that. Kendall Rogers joining us from Omaha in about 15 minutes from right now. I mentioned as we were going to break about Caden Henderson. And if you're not familiar, Caden Henderson's the 5-star #1 linebacker in America, and he committed to Texas A&M today. And it's interesting because A&M is building one heck of a recruiting class right now, the high school recruiting class for 2027. And as we know, they got 5-star #1 offensive tackle in America in Mark Matthews, or one of the top offensive tackles in America in Mark Matthews. They now have, as you mentioned, Caden Henderson, the #1 linebacker in America. They've gotten Kamari Dorsey, who's a 5-star safety in the class. Zyron Forstall from Jesuit, who went to IMG's edge rusher, the #24 player in the country. Kennedy Brown, an interior offensive lineman, 5-star, #25 nationally, that LSU was recruiting. So A&M has the #1 class in America. Mark Matthews, Kamari Dorsey, Zyron Forstall, Kennedy Brown, Caden Henderson. That's 5 5-stars that they have. And Henderson, Matthews, and Dorsey are the #1 players in the country at their position. Forstall is the 5th best edge. Kennedy Brown is the 3rd best interior offensive lineman. So, I mean, anyway, they are loading up top heavy in their class. And that's amazing for them. And if the roles were reversed and this is what LSU's class looked like, I think we'd all be celebrating it, and justifiably so. But I think what's interesting, I'm going to point this out because I'm not going to say this is good or bad. I'm just making an observation because I don't think we know the answer, because only time will tell and will eventually reveal this answer to us. Similar to when Lane Kiffin and Brian Kelly in the portal era were building their teams. And, of course, Brian Kelly showed up in Baton Rouge late 2021, early 2022, when NIL was about 6 months old. It was before it became, what it was, or what it's become. I mean, Nick Saban said in Congress his first year at Alabama and NIL, they spent $2.5 million on their roster. The whole roster, $2.5 million. Now it's at Bama, it's over $25 million. So it's dramatically ramped up. All that to illustrate that 5 years ago, NIL wasn't then what it is now. But we saw 2 very different approaches. Kelly's thing was recruit, develop, build through the high school ranks, supplement in the portal. Kiffin was portal king. 2 very different approaches, right? With different, sometimes mixed results. Now, you can roll your eyes at that, but the truth is, Kelly won the SEC West his first year. They beat Bama, all that stuff. He had a couple of 10-win seasons. And then NIL spending outpaced LSU in 2024, and they went 8-4. And then they spent in 2025, missed a bunch, Nuss got hurt. We know what happened. But Kiffin's teams haven't won at the highest level, but won more consistently, right? They won 10 games on average over 5 seasons. They won 50 games over the last 5 seasons. The only 2 schools to win more over that period in the SEC were Bama and Georgia. So you can look and say these 2 coaches took 2 divergent approaches to that era with similar results, but it's fair to say Kiffin had a better 5-year run or 4-year run at Ole Miss if you start in 22 to 25, 22, 3, 4, 5, than Kelly did at LSU in the same run. Although they were 2-2 against each other, just overall win totals, everything. Obviously, Ole Miss made the playoffs this year, everything. So it just goes to show you different ways that they went about building. I say that because we've spent so much time now since Kiffin has been at LSU talking about how Lane Kiffin and Billy Glasscock are building this roster and how they're approaching high school recruiting. The entire approach has been they want elite high school players, but only if they're going to play immediately. We've talked about this a bunch. I'm not like breaking news or telling you anything you haven't heard me say. I'm just illustrating a difference here between how LSU is doing it and how Mike Elko at Texas A&M is doing it. LSU only wants elite level high school guys. They're only going to pay elite level high school guys if they're going to contribute immediately at LSU. Otherwise, they're looking for guys that are character guys that are going to, they like the projectability that they can get on campus, not pay them, let them stay and wait and grow and develop. And then by the time they're in year 2, 3, 4, whatever, then they're going to be a contributing player. And then, of course, you go spend in the portal. I look at the top of A&M's class, and I don't know A&M's roster 1 to 85. Okay, I can't tell you I know what, certainly not for this year. I sure don't know what it will look like for 2027. But I see a 5-star offensive tackle, a 5-star interior offensive lineman, a 5-star safety, a 5-star edge, and a 5-star linebacker. Those are 5 players that are really, by the way, Raylon Henry, a cornerback, he's a 4-star. He's the number 42 overall player. Jaquan Snell is a safety, the number 48 overall player. Jaden Upshaw is a wide receiver, the number 56 overall player. Miles Smith, a defensive lineman, the number 59 overall player. Frederick Ards at edge is the number 61 overall player. Like, let me spell this out for you. Matthews, Dorsey, Forstall, Brown, Henderson, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 prospects. A&M has 10 commitments within the top 61 nationally. 10 of the top 61. All of those guys are going to require a heavy financial investment. So the point that Lane Kiffin would make is if you're going to make that kind of financial investment, you expect these guys to play immediately. Okay. If they do, and they're not done, by the way. I mean, they're trending still for other elite level players. They're trending for Albert Simeon, whatever. My point is, you want a true freshman left tackle and 2 true freshman interior offensive linemen and a true freshman edge and 2 true freshman safeties and a true freshman linebacker, like a true freshman corner. Do you understand my point? Like, you'll have a lot of talent, but you're going to be really young. And I don't know that I want a roster built like that. Now, if you give me guarantees, like 10 years ago, this is the greatest class ever. Because you get all these top 50 guys, and they're all going to stay for 3, 4 years, whatever, and grow and develop, and you're going to be, and by the time they're all mature, they're going to be awesome. But there's no guarantee, excuse me, that these guys stay beyond 1 year. And that really is the challenge. So you go pay all of these players to be part of your high school signing class. They're not all going to play. And if they do, you're going to be a really young roster. And that generally isn't good. Look at Indiana as the antithesis of that, a really old roster this year that won a national championship. So I think this is going to be a fascinating test case. Because when we get to January of 28, I know that feels like forever from now, but let's say A&M gets all these guys signed, okay? They get all of these guys signed. And then you go through the 2027 season. All these guys are freshmen. This elite level class that they have, which is so impressive. Like, it really is an incredibly impressive compilation of talent. But if you go through 2027, you get through that season, and then in January of 28, half these dudes hit the portal, we'll look back and go, what'd you do? Well, I mean, didn't A&M do this a few years ago when they signed the greatest high school class ever, and after 1 year, half those guys left, and A&M went 8-4 or 7-5, whatever it was? I mean, at some point, you got to learn your lesson. Maybe this works. Maybe they have found a way to structure deals to make it make sense for these guys to commit to staying for multiple years, and they all do, and it's great for them. Maybe it will, and that'll be the roadmap that teams in the future start to use. But it's just very clear that A&M and LSU, Mike Elko and Lane Kiffin, have very different approaches to the high school path. Like, I mean, LSU was the front runner for the number one cornerback in America and looked at him and said, Josh Dobson, like, you're not going to play here as a freshman because we anticipate having to pay DJ Pickett and PJ Woodland and Haven Finney will be here. And, like, we're not going to pay you like a number one corner because you're going to be our number 4 or 5 corner. Now, we'd love you in 28. You'll be our number 1 in 29 and so on. But we can't pay you in 27 as a freshman like that because you're not going to play and you might leave. And so they stop recruiting him. A&M's taking all those guys. Will it work? I don't know. It's just a fascinating difference in how these two programs are approaching high school recruiting. And we'll look back in 18, 24, 36 months and see what's working and how people and teams start to adjust how they build rosters in this era. Interesting. All right, it's After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here, y'all. We're brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics, OLOLRMC.com/LSU, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. We always tell you, Our Lady of the Lake and LSU together, we roar. Of course, Our Lady of the Lake, I just got a peek of the roster. They've done 23 deals with LSU football players for this coming season. Sam Levitt, Jordan Seaton, Whit Weeks, Trades Green. Really excited to hear their stories, to have a lot of those guys on the show throughout the summer and the fall as well. But Our Lady of the Lake is a championship health partner of LSU Athletics. Not only do they support the Tigers on the field, the court, the diamond, in the classroom, and everyday champions like you and me. If it's your primary healthcare physician, if it's cancer, stroke, heart, pediatrics. Honestly, this morning, Eric and I had Drew seeing a GI doctor, Dr. Alonzo, over at the Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital. We utilize that world-class facility, and you can as well. And it's all part of FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together, we roar. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. We're supposed to have Trey Martin here, 4-star running back. We'll see if we can connect with him maybe a bit later in the show. In 45 minutes, earlier today, if you missed it, Lloyd Peaver, former Tiger great pitcher, was elected to the College Baseball Hall of Fame. Lloyd Peaver will be with us at the start of Hour 3 in about 45 minutes from right now. Looking forward to that conversation. Let me knock out a break. We'll head up to Omaha. We'll talk a little bit with Kendall Rogers, some LSU portal stuff, and, of course, the College World Series final is set. We'll knock it around with Kendall when we come back here on AFR.
AFR.
Always love to remind you about River City's 1 hour air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001. 90-degree air temp in Baton Rouge right now. And you know, with the humidity, it's way hotter. So you better make sure that AC is ready to rip and run all summer long. River City's 1 hour air can help you make that happen. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. You see them all over town because, well, they're the best. They got more than double the amount of 5-star Google reviews of their next closest competitor at River City's 1 hour air, because for 40 years, they've been treating people great, doing great work at a fair price. It's River City's 1 hour air. 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. Hey, if you're looking for work, you need to talk to Big Jake at River Parish Contractors. Even if you're not looking for work, when you talk to Big Jake at River Parish Contractors, you realize you might need to. Tackers, fitters, welders, crane operators. Listen, you want to work in their fab shop, on site. The great thing, one of the many great things about River Parish Contractors is they are local. All of their work is local. Fab shop is in Reserve. All of their work is between Chalmette and Baton Rouge. So you are home every single day with your family for dinner. You'll never miss your kids' baseball, softball, volleyball, soccer match, whatever it may be, when you go to work at River Parish Contractors. They've got full benefit packages, paid time off, paid vacations, obviously a great place, family owned and operated, to go work. It's River Parish Contractors. Call Big Jake, rpcontractors.com.
After Closer for the Review with Matt Moscona. Presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
On the ground, here's Willits up with it. And the Boomer Sooner train behind 5 homers has moved on to the World Series Finals to face North Carolina.
If I had told you a team was going to hit 5 home runs in a game in the College World Series to advance to the final, you probably would have believed it was Georgia, not Georgia's undoing at the hands of Oklahoma, but that's how it sounded on ESPN. Oklahoma and North Carolina is your College World Series final, something not many people would have predicted. Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball, good enough to jump aboard with us. Yo, man, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Really well. Not surprised by North Carolina. Oklahoma has got to be the outlier surprise here. Kendall, how did they do it?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy when you think about just how small or how big the little things matter in college baseball. Remember, this is an Oklahoma team that, at the box earlier this season, they had to really scratch and claw to take a series from LSU. Frankly, a series LSU could have very well won. So it just kind of gives you an idea of how things can change dramatically. But I think the biggest thing for Oklahoma is if you look at their offense over the last month of the season, especially these last 2 or 3 weeks, I mean, their power production has been incredible. I mean, Jason Walk, Deshaun Harris, 2 guys that had 2 home runs last night. Those guys entered the College World Series with 3 home runs. I mean, that's just pretty incredible what they've done. And, Trey Gamble's been super clutch. And to have 3 freshmen throw the way they have with, Cord Rager and Weslowski last night, and certainly Xander Mercurius has been pretty special. It's just one of those things. It's kind of like LSU last year when you have outings like Cade Anderson, you have outings like Anthony Ianson, you look at the plays that, Monster Milam made last year here in Omaha. You had that feeling about LSU, and I have that feeling about Oklahoma right now. Just everything is coming up OU.
The power numbers are so interesting, Kendall, because I was told that you may have this offhand, but I was told a number today that entering the postseason, Oklahoma was 120th or 125th in homers. They're 30th right now.
It was low, yeah.
Yeah. Now, like a lot of teams aren't playing, obviously, but that is an enormous jump. To what do we attribute the power surge over the last month?
This sounds like a lazy take, but I really think for Oklahoma, it's just literally they're just on a heater. I mean, you see it every year, right? Or most years. I mean, I kind of compare it to Ole Miss back when they actually, ironically enough, beat Oklahoma to win the national championship. That year, the last couple of weeks of the season, going back to the regional, Ole Miss was getting every single key hit. They were hitting with premier power. They were getting every single clutch pitching performance. And that's just the way Oklahoma has been. And I think the biggest thing for OU is, you start to feel like King Kong a little bit when you beat Georgia Tech. I mean, Georgia Tech had looked like an unstoppable force. They go into Atlanta, they win that regional. Dayton Taki hits that home run over the batter's eye to win the regional. And ever since then, they've thought they can beat literally anyone. And guess what? They can't beat anyone because they beat what, many of us thought was kind of, so they're playing with house money, and they're just playing really well. Like, I mean, they're defending at a really high clip. I mean, you look back at last night, Daniel Jackson hits that hot shot to the hot corner, and Camden Johnson, makes that incredible play. And I wrote about this in my column, but, again, you hate to use the word team of destiny a lot, but it's just every single thing is going OU's way.
Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. There's obviously 2 sides of every story. There's the thrill of Oklahoma's win and advancing, and just the massive disappointment for Georgia, which won the league by 3.5 games, won the conference tournament, looked like they were going to cruise through their side of the bracket in Omaha, and then they just can't get past Oklahoma. So where does Georgia go from here? Rate this disappointment, Kendall, if you would, for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I would rate it pretty high. I mean, so here's the problem with Georgia, and I know this sounds kind of crazy, but like Georgia won too much. When you look back at Georgia during the regular season, they win the SEC regular season. Wes Johnson tried to win the SEC tournament. They won the SEC tournament. And history would suggest that when you try to win that conference tournament, it really taxes you. And so, you look at on top of that, the regional went pretty easy. But you go back to that super regional, And I kind of circle that as what really kind of hurt them in Omaha. You think about how stressful that regional was for the coaches, the players, the pitching staff, and just the way Mississippi State kept going at them. I think that Super Regional took a lot out of Georgia and certainly took a lot out of Georgia's offense. I mean, some people are going to look at Georgia's production or lack of here in Omaha and go, oh, well, the wind must have been blowing in. No, actually, the wind was blowing out every single Georgia game, and it did not matter. Georgia still cannot hit. So it's not one of those things where they just had a bunch of balls die at the wall. I mean, Luke Harrison had a career night for Texas against Georgia. Certainly Nick Roslowski last night had a career night for Oklahoma against Georgia. They just picked a really bad time to pitch really well and not hit at all, which is kind of crazy, really, because that's the opposite of what Georgia was all season long. All season long, they were the team that could really hit, but they really were super inconsistent on the mound. In Omaha, it was the storyline was flipped a little bit, and that led to their downfall ultimately.
So now it's Oklahoma and North Carolina for the national championship. Kendall, when you look at this matchup, what are the key storylines?
Yeah, I think, North Carolina was my pick coming into Omaha, and I just love that they do everything really well. They really defend. They get clutch hit after clutch hit. Gavin Gallagher to own a hole have been incredible here in Omaha. And then when you look at the pitching side of things, Ryan Lynch and certainly Jason DeCaro at the front end. And then Kaden Glauber, one of the top pitchers in the country, probably our freshman of the year, closing things out for them. It's hard to go against North Carolina just because Carolina is doing everything really well. So I think the key for me is just if North Carolina continues to play the way he has played, I don't think it matters how hot OU is. I think North Carolina comes home with its first national championship.
By the way, are you picking UNC to win?
Yeah, I'm going with the Tar Heels.
Yeah, it's. I looked at the odds a bit ago, Kendall. I think North Carolina was a minus 190 favorite, and OU was a plus 155 underdog. So, man, if you believe in the hot hand, it's a good price for Oklahoma. But Carolina is a pretty sizable favorite there. A couple more things for you. Kendall Rogers with us, D1 Baseball. I'm sure you saw earlier, Ted. I'd love to get your thoughts on the proposal for Major League Baseball. If you missed it earlier today, and we're going to talk later in the show, but for the listener that missed it, there's a proposal for Major League Baseball to effectively prohibit high school draft picks in the future. You would have to be 2 years out of high school in order to be draft eligible or 20 years old. Is this something you think even has a remote possibility of passing?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If you're trying to avoid a lockout, I think it actually does have a very significant chance to pass. And here's the thing. With Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred has made it abundantly clear over the last few years that he wants college baseball to be the primary feeder of the big leagues. He wants to trim the minor league system. He wants to make college baseball more so the minor league system because guess what? It's less money those guys have to funnel into it. So he has made that pretty clear. And so I actually think it does have a chance to pass. And boy, you talk about something that could revolutionize the sport. I mean, I think college baseball is already at an all-time high, even without LSU in the World Series. I mean, we're at 45% year over year in TV ratings. You add in the fact that all these kids have to go to school. And, I mean, that would be incredible for the sport. So, yeah, I mean, to answer your question, yeah, I think it has a really significant chance to pass. And if it does, and those kids have to stay in school for a couple of years, I mean, you just think of what that does for college baseball. Think of what it does for a program like LSU that recruits an elite level every single year. It could be a lot of fun.
Man, the talent infusion college baseball would be insane if that does, in fact, happen.
I think Jim Schlesinger said it perfectly the other night after Texas got eliminated is we really are the golden age of college baseball. Sure. I think as big as college football and college basketball are, and as much as I love those two sports, frankly, I'm probably even a college baseball writer. I'm probably even a bigger college football fan than I am college baseball. Like college baseball, people kind of view it as like the last frontier a little bit. You have all this drama and all these other sports. College baseball certainly has the NIL and things like that, but people kind of view it as the last pure sport. And if you can throw all of these kids going to college in the mix, I mean, watch out.
Yeah. Look, I mean, Kendall, we're already seeing a talent infusion just when you look at LSU, like with Stephen Milam. In a different era, Kendall, there is no shot he returns for his senior year, but now you can make sense financially for him to return and play another season, which benefits college baseball because you have these great players that stay now. So it is a fascinating time. Hey, really quick before you go, do you have a thought on LSU's portal class so far?
I love it so far. I mean, obviously, there's going to be some question marks with Dawson Park just because he was kicked off the team at Texas State. But assuming Jay kind of gets his head on straight, which, I mean, it sounds like he will, Park is an elite shortstop. I mean, I would consider him a very highly graded shortstop from a scouting perspective. He's got some power in the bat. Obviously, Bino Waters is a guy that certainly, had a great year from a power standpoint. Jason Woggs from, Tulane. Certainly, again, a power production guy. So right now, Jay is going after the right pieces, and I don't think LSU is even close to done. I mean, they've got 4 or 5 more kind of premier portal guys are going after, and of course, Landon Hood certainly was another awesome addition. You talk about a guy with a ton of upside. I mean, it's a lead arm, elite fastball, and there with Coach Yeski, I think he's going to be great at LSU. So LSU, even though they're not in Omaha with us right now, that's going to be a really good team next year.
Yeah, I know they're targeting a few more portal arms to fortify that bullpen. We'll see what else they can add.
Yeah, I do not see the Tigers having the same season they had this year next year. I'll just put it that way.
God help us. Kendall Rogers, D1 baseball.
God help college baseball. That is not good for college baseball when LSU struggles.
It's not good for a radio host in Baton Rouge either, man. We appreciate it, Kendall. Thank you.
You got it, brother. Be good, man.
All right,
Thank you.
We'll see you. That's Kendall Rogers from D1 Baseball. It's with us all throughout the year and the baseball season, so we do appreciate him, his time as always. All right, it's after further review. We're here at the Spine Center. We're brought to you by Parish Restoration. Yesterday, Alonzo, if you want to call him back, you can, right? Yesterday, last evening, of course, there was an awful weather event. Our first name storm came through. If you did have water intrusion, Parish Restoration can help. Mold remediation, restoration, all of those services. Give Jim Woodworth and the gang a call. ParishRestoration.com, ParishRestoration.com, ParishRestoration.com. You go to the website, fill out the form, they'll get in touch. They're cost effective. They're efficient, they're effective, they're affordable. It's Parish Restoration. So if you have mold, think you might have water intrusion, need remediation services, they can help you out there at Parish Restoration. Go to ParishRestoration.com, ParishRestoration.com. All right, it's after further review, halfway home here on a Thursday edition of AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing, and we are at the Spine Center. Oh, by the way, I should mention, we're at the Spine Center in Baton Rouge, but they have Spine Center in Lafayette, Hammond, Walker, Lacombe, so you could certainly go to the website and find the Spine Center location nearest you, spinela.com, spinela.com, or call 833-SPINE-LA, 833-SPINE-LA to book your appointment. Hey, let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Actually, while we were talking to Kendall, Trey Martin called. Did he reply? Did you call him back?
No, I'm going to wait, but I texted him and let him know that I'm going to call him.
All right, we're going to see if we're going to connect here with Trey Martin, see if we can get him on the flip side of this break. So we'll continue here. Stay with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Before the show started, some of our friends here at Spine Center walked in and we were talking, and one of them pointed out that I'd lost weight. And I said, man, I feel awesome. I feel like I did when I was 20. And this person's like, I wish I felt that good. Like, you can. Hormone replacement therapy is real. It is an amazing treatment that is safe and affordable and helps you feel like your younger self. I mean, think about how you felt in your 20s when you had great waking energy, you slept great, you had mental clarity, you had motivation to get in the gym, you could burn fat, build muscle. Like, all of that is in part related to your hormone levels. And as we age, our body produces less of those hormones. Well, you can safely, affordably supplement to get to healthy levels. And nobody's better than Goodwood. Yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
LSU on a recruiting heater, 9 commits in less than 2 weeks. And among them, 4-star running back out of Winsboro, Franklin Parish, Trey Martin, good enough to jump aboard with us here on a Thursday AFR. Trey, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
Yeah, how about you?
Man, I'm doing awesome. Probably not as good a week as you're having, though. Start off with an easy one, man. Why'd you pick LSU?
Man, I'm a Louisiana kid, man. It was a great environment. I love being around the coaches and stuff. I mean, they just treated me like I was like the higher priority. So, I mean, yeah, I just wanted to be there.
Hey, when you're growing up in Winsboro, like, did you grow up an LSU fan?
Yeah, I did, actually.
So who were some of the guys, like, do you, like, as a kid, we all, you're from Louisiana, like, we all grow up, if you watch the Tigers, there's players you like or games you like. Were there players that you remember watching thinking, like, yeah, I want to be like him or do that?
I would say, like, Odell Beckham Jr., he grew up, me growing up watching him play at LSU, doing the things that he was doing. He was one of the guys that I really looked forward to, and I wanted to be like as my career. And as I got older, I just, work hard and, and opportunity came and I took it.
The interesting thing about your recruitment, Trey, you tell me if this is wrong, but a lot of the recruiting analysts said throughout the thing, it kind of felt like maybe Bama had a lead for you and that you might end up going there. When did LSU kind of start to emerge in your recruitment?
I would say, like, once I got down there, and I took my OVs, and once I got to the top 3, which was Ole Miss and Florida, it was just like a no-brainer. Like, LSU had so many polls about the school and why I should go there. It was like, man, I can't just miss out on this opportunity, one in a lifetime, to play for the LSU Tigers. And so, that opportunity came, and I took it, and it was nothing like just playing in that stadium. The stadium was big. I went in there, I was like, man, the stadium, I can imagine myself playing. And, it's a dream for every kid in Louisiana, and I'm one of those kids, and I took that opportunity.
Hey, man, tell me, Trey Martin's our guest, but tell me about, I think I saw on social media, like you FaceTiming with Coach O or something like that. Tell me about what it was like being recruited by him or your interactions with him.
Coach O was a great guy, man. I mean, he has a personality, like one of those real defensive coaches mentality. Like, you could tell just in his voice that he's really a coach. Like, and to be around him and knowing what he did with the kids, I mean, it's amazing. It's like different kids and different people being around him. He's just different. Like, you could tell that he's really a winner. And that's what I want to be a part of. So I took that chance with him too.
Talk to me, if you would, about your interactions with Kevin Smith, who, the little bit that I've gotten to talk to Coach Smith, just impressive, intense. What was it like for you getting to meet Kevin Smith?
Meeting Kevin Smith, it really was a great, like, he's a real genuine coach. Like, he keep it real with you. He don't let you know what it is or what it ain't. He's not gonna feed you something and tell you something, and then damn down the line, then that's not what it is. Like, he's gonna give you the real. So him being real like communicative with me, letting me know that he got me throughout this process in my family, and he was real good with my family. So like, I like that at the bottom. So like, he really a great coach. He really one of those ones. And we built the trust at Ole Miss, so it was already good.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. So he was already recruiting you at Ole Miss?
Yes, sir, he was.
Got it. So did you have a relationship with Coach Kiffin before he got to LSU?
Yeah, we, like, all those guys that just not getting there, like the ones that came from Ole Miss, like, they was recruiting me heavy while they was at Ole Miss, and we built a relationship as we went on. So it was one of a kind. So I loved it. Like, once they got, like, man, they had my dream school, man. Like, I'm ready.
I love it, man. Hey, so I saw you got to take the picture on the balcony with Lane Kiffin, man. Like, everybody's up there doing that. Is that like something they tell you, all right, you got to go take this picture, or you want to take that picture with Kiffin on the balcony?
I think I was one of those, like, the stadium in the background. So it's like, man, it's y'all dream to be at this school, man. Come on the balcony and we take this picture. And my mom, she not really into, like, she don't know who Lane Kiffin really is. So we was trying to get her to figure out. She was like, you put this on your Facebook and watch how many people love it.
Wait, so did your mom put it on her Facebook?
Yeah, so she went to work the next day. She was like, "Why everybody hugging me and be like, I'm that lame kid? I don't know."
Oh, dude, that's so good. How many? I need to look it up. How many likes does it have on Facebook?
Oh, I don't even know. It's a lot, man. Like, she went to work. She was happy. She was like, "Man, I just met Lane Kiffin. I still don't know who Lane Kiffin is, but I met her."
She's like the only one who doesn't know who Lane Kiffin is. That's funny, man. Hey, one of the things I've been asking a lot of, look, you're one of 3 running backs in this class, and dude, you're a top 150, top 100 overall guy in the country, man. Like, is your expectation to come here and play immediately, or if you got to sit and wait your turn? Is that your path? What do you think?
Well, as of right now, this is coming in and playing early. Like, they got a high expectation for me and the other guy that's with me. The other guy that's that committed to us. We have some real high expectations to come take over as the class begin, because we are the first class that they taken at LSU. So it's like, we got a high expectation.
Sure. Trey Martin out of Winsboro, Franklin Parish. Hey, one more thing, man. Give me, if you wouldn't mind, like your like height, weight, right? I see sometimes, the recruiting services, it could be old or whatever. This says 6'2", 201. How big are you right now?
I'm not 6 foot yet. I wish I was, but I'm 5'10" and a half, about 202, 205 around there.
All right, 5'10" and a half.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm not 6 foot yet. I wish I was. Hey, man, there's a lot of great running backs that are 5'11", man, or smaller. Trey Martin, we appreciate the visit, man. Thanks for taking a few minutes today. All the best, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep, it's our pleasure. That's Trey Martin, one of 3 running backs in this class. You can tell, man, said the expectation is to come play immediately and be an impact guy. And I think he's right. Like, I think what these coaches are telling him is right. Lane said this. I don't want to stray too far here, but Lane said this yesterday. I don't know if you still have the audio of it, Muse. There was a cut where Lane was talking about how he's recruiting these guys, and part of what he told Tyron, I'm paraphrasing, was just like, I'm oversimplifying it. He's like, just be honest with them. We're not selling them a bill of goods. We're just telling them what it is, because they can see through it. And in this era, when money and everything's evolved, there's no sense in lying. You just have a real, candid conversation with him. And he just told you there that they're telling him the expectation is to play immediately. And I don't think they'd be out there signing 3 running backs in this class to come sit behind all the transfers they brought in for this year. So, I think they like Harlan Berry. They like Dylan Jones. I think the other 4 scholarship running backs on this team right now, really going to have to fight to earn a spot for 2027. And especially when you're bringing in Trey Segura and Trey Martin, who are 2 top 100, top 150, top 10 running backs in the country, they think will be able to contribute immediately. So, all right, it's after further review. Rolling along here, man. We're glad you're hanging out with us on this Thursday edition of AFR. Always love telling you about First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. One more time, FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. If you're thinking of buying land, make sure your first call is to First South Farm Credit. And you go to the website, start there. They have the ultimate recreational land buying guide on the homepage, totally free resource. If you've never bought land before, it's a great resource to use to start. If you've bought land before, well, in many instances, you know the drill. Maybe you could take some of the equity in your current property, roll it into your new property. Maybe you need a tax write-off. Certainly, you're going to incur expenses when you own land. That could be great for tax purposes. Talk to your CPA about buying land. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. That's who you need to call. They've been helping Louisianans buy land for more than 100 years. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. Make sure your first call is to First South Farm Credit. All right, it's after further review. Rolling along, we're here at Spine Center in Baton Rouge, and glad to have you hanging around with us on this Thursday AFR presented by Decision Critical. So we'll knock out our final break of hour number 2. Muse will do Tigers and the Pros. If you missed it earlier today, the College Baseball Hall of Fame announced their class for 2026, and LSU baseball legend Lloyd Peaver is a member of the newly elected College Baseball Hall of Fame class. We're fired up for him. Lloyd's going to be with us in 15 minutes from right now. We're excited for that conversation. Stay with us here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon. Get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon. Get it done. A couple of things to know in particular about the website when you go there at getgordon.com. So it's really easy. If you want to, let's say you've been in an accident, you're not sure what to do, like who to call. Well, you can always call Gordon's office, and you'll talk to a person, 888-8888, 888-8888. It's easy, just dial the 8s, no matter where you are, 888-8888. Or you go to getgordon.com. If you'd prefer to, like, text with an associate, there's a little chat bubble on the bottom right of the homepage. Boom, right there. You'll be texting with an associate in a matter of seconds. They have testimonials, like actual client testimonials, the types of cases they've handled. If you want to learn more about that, where their physical offices are all over the state of Louisiana, it's really easy. It's getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Joe Burrow had media availability in Cincinnati on Wednesday as the Bengals wrapped up mandatory minicamp. And he said something that will likely make LSU fans it'll warm you in the cockles of your heart. Maybe the sub-cockles of your heart might terrify the rest of the vision if it actually comes to pass. This is what Burrow said.
You know, you go back and watch what I said before 2019 season at LSU. You know, I feel very similarly about this team. You know, I'm so excited to get started and get moving. And I wish we would ramp this right into training camp so we can continue to improve, because I feel like, you know, there's so much greatness that we're going to be able to achieve this year. I'm just excited to get going.
What Joe is referencing is that SEC Media Days before 2019, he said very brazenly, as we now know, Joe Burrow is that and has no problem whatsoever being that and saying that he thought they would score 45, 50 points a game. And a lot of people chuckled because you got to remember the context. Okay, this was the decade of offensive impotence for LSU. This was a decade of Jordan Jefferson and Anthony Jennings and all of the what we all would rather forget, right? Not what LSU has become offensively. And so the thought that LSU would go score 40, 50 a game was laughable. And a lot of people laughed at Joe. Well, they went on and had the greatest season ever, as we all well know. Look, the Bengals were my pick to win the Super Bowl last year, knowing full well the issues that they had defensively. But Joe, we all know what elite-level quarterback play can mean in football and certainly in the NFL. Joe Burrow 2 seasons ago had an MVP-caliber season. They just weren't a good enough team for him to win the MVP. And then last year, obviously, he had a toe, and that limited Cincinnati and what they could be. If Burrow is healthy, stays healthy, and Cincinnati has actually improved. They've improved their offensive line, which was the big bugaboo early in his career. They were atrocious defensively. They was one of the worst defensive teams in the NFL last year. So it's why they went and, traded a top 10 pick for an interior defensive lineman, and they're trying to go improve their defense. And if they have, and Burrow stays healthy, then I don't see any reason why in an AFC where we just saw the Patriots with a second-year quarterback go to the Super Bowl, why the Cincinnati Bengals couldn't be that team. If they were, they look a lot like 2019 LSU, which was a pro team playing college. Look out. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. We're here at Spine Center. We do it every day here. Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, we'll start with some Major League Baseball. Hunter Fiducia, our guy for the Tampa Bay Rays, went 1 for 3 yesterday. His 3rd double of the season. Came around to score in that game as well. Got the start at catcher. He's really occupying that role well for the Rays. They did fall to the to the Dodgers 5-4. But Fiducia, 253 so far on the season. Alex Bregman for the Cubbies yesterday, 0 for 1. Did have an RBI, did score a run, walked twice. So while he didn't find any green grass out there for a hit, very productive day for for Bregman nonetheless. It also just dawned on me that Alex Bregman and Dansby Swanson both play for the Cubs. That's the number 1 and number 2 pick from that draft class. Kind of impressive that just slipped through the cracks. Major League Baseball later today, Aaron Nola will be on the bump for the Philadelphia Phillies. Gage Jump will be on the bump for the Sacramento/Las Vegas/Oakland Athletics. 2 former Tigers looking to increase their win total here on the season. Some WNBA notes. It was another double-double from Anissa Morrow, 11 points, 10 rebounds. She is now back playing after a lower leg injury. Kind of hampered her for about a week and a half. Shot 5 of 11 from the floor. And Flau'jae Johnson, Seattle Storm, 8 points, an assist, and 2 rebounds in the Storm's latest loss. And had to go to the Portland Fire. That is Tigers in the Pros.
Oh, man. Just down the road from where we are right now, Supper Club. You know, like whenever we do remotes on the road, I usually extend my gratitude to Alondra by taking her and we go eat a good steak dinner. No, I mean, that's how we roll, right? I mean, Nashville, Lake Charles, Houston. I mean, I'm like, look, thank you for your hard work. Let's go have a good dinner. I mean, today, the Supper Club's like right there. I mean, we're sitting here on Blue Bond. I mean, I go up to Perkins and make a left. Supper Club's right there. I don't have a reservation, but it don't matter. Remember, you can always walk in, have dinner at the bar, 14 bar stools, 7 bar tables. Thursday, good way to get that weekend started off, man. Go get you a steak at Supper Club. Make plans to get there this weekend. SupperClubBTR.com is where you can get your reservation. If you're celebrating or you just want to go have a great meal, the best meal you'll ever have, Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com. Making plans for football season. If you know you're going to be in town, get your reservations now because they're going to be packed and like hard sellout on this football weekend. SupperClubBTR.com. All right, y'all. Hour 3, staring you straight in the face here after SportsCenter. Lloyd Peaver is next.
AFR.
As we wrap up hour number 2, I do want to remind you about Relief Windows. ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. You know, tell you all, I mean, the thing we talk about all the time with Relief Windows, you know, you can go get, if you get quotes in your shopping price, it's never going to be Relief Windows. They're never going to be the cheapest, and that's okay. Like, that's not what they want to be. They're not going to be the one that sells you the windows the cheapest. They want to be the best. They're going to measure twice and install once. Every window custom made for the specifications of your home. They never take $1 from you until they're done and you're thrilled with the work. Like, they will not take a down payment. They take all the risk up front. They have a true lifetime transferable warranty. If a company's relatively new, how do you know if it's an actual lifetime transferable warranty that they can stand behind? At Relief Windows, you don't have to worry about that. They're the best. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com.